Yeah, I mean, going back to Craigthorpe, I think Craigthorpe just, he felt he had to take him, and he just wasn't capable of handling these guys. He wasn't capable of handling kids that have been from troubled backgrounds, that had very, very strong personalities. Probably Craigthorpe said something to them in the locker room, and it was probably F this and F that, and you don't know what the F you're talking about. Probably some type of response to Craigthorpe, I would say a lot of the times, and Craigthorpe just wasn't in a position to handle that.
Craigthorpe wasn't in the position to handle that. And on the same token, Craigthorpe apparently wasn't in the position to handle anything. Craigthorpe wasn't worth anything. He brought nothing positive to the table, as is apparent by what Charlie Strong's having to clean up now. Craigthorpe did nothing for the program. What is he, the LSU offensive coordinator?
The Billy Gillespie of football.
Yeah, but
that's the way I look at it.
But Craigthorpe, and
he may have been a good guy, though. Gillespie was just a weirdo.
That's true.
Yeah, but
That's
you
true.
look at, but you look, like I said at the beginning of the show with the unfortunate job loss with Tyler here, as one door shuts, another one opens. You're looking at Kentucky. Without Billy Gillespie, you would have never gotten John Calipari, which John Calipari is leading you possibly into one of the greatest eras that you've ever seen in Kentucky. And I think Charlie Strong is really going to bring Louisville some substance at being on a national scale. I think with the Petrino era, I think Petrino had massive amounts of success in Conference USA, and I think he was going to be gone before Louisville could ever have sustained
Realistically,
success. Sustained success in a major conference. With Charlie Strong, I could really see, in 2 years, Louisville being in 2 or 3 BCS games in 5 years, and then Charlie Strong moving on. Being in the top 25 the whole time. I just see that as the type of program I think they're going to be.
I'm pretty sure he just signed a couple top recruits this past couple days.
He did. He got a couple guys from Miami, a wide receiver and a defensive tackle / defensive end type guy. One of them being Teddy Bridgewater's cousin.
Connections.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if the receiver or if the the defensive tackle is his cousin.
Receiver.
The receiver is, which brings even more. I think is bigger from my point. Is Louisville has always been in a position to where they can get big-time skill guys, but you have to look at what Charlie Strong is doing, and when he's getting defensive linemen.
Yeah, that's what wins games.
Yeah, big-time guys that play in the trenches.
That's the big guys, offensive and defensive big guys, undoubtedly are what wins games
Just like
in
the
SEC.
Just like the Lions NFL. They drafted Ndamukong Suh, and this past draft they just took another.
And now they're starting to be good. Now they're starting to be good.
Yep, coming around.
For some reason, if you don't draft wide receivers every year, you're going to be okay.
Yeah. I mean, and that's I think Louisville, I think this will be the one quote unquote bridge year. But then again, I look at the Big East, and who is good in the Big East?
I don't think it'll be a bridge year, like you just said. The Big East, Pittsburgh, they'll be there. They're usually okay. No, they did just lose their running back, I believe. But I mean, it's the Big East. I mean, it's a good conference, but it's not the SEC. It's not the Big 12. I feel like Charlie Strong, if he stuck around for a few years, I feel like he might be able to take his team to a few bowl games.
I think Charlie Strong will stick around until he has some legitimate success. When you're in a BCS conference, it's different than when you're in Conference USA. Charlie Strong is not going to be at Louisville forever. I don't think he's getting ready to leave, though.
Oh, no, definitely not.
He wants to do some, to take Louisville to heights that they haven't seen before would pretty much be what? A great BCS game. Charlie Strong is going to have, in my opinion, a heck of a run at it.
Yeah, and
before he leaves.
And I think you can't. I think with football, much more so than basketball. It's not a 1-year turnaround. I think what Charlie Strong can do that will be very, very good for us is build a solid foundation in a BCS conference. You look at what Petrino did. But I really think what Petrino built, as we saw, was a house of cards. He brought a lot of these great skill players in, and then his offensive scheme and defensive scheme were so great that he could hide every other part, but really wasn't built for major college football. He would have had to have kept recruiting guys, and what we did see, is what he recruited the first 3 years that he was there was completely different than the last 2. He got big time guys, Peanut Whitehead, players like that. But
even though he didn't pan out, exactly, you're right.
He got the
he
big
ended up getting the studs.
He was okay.
Yeah, he got the big time guys, but didn't follow through, and that's what you need. I think the biggest thing in college football, is more so than getting the guys on the field. But you need 2 and 3 star guys that are going to play against these guys and, in practice. I think that's why Notre Dame has struggled so bad. Notre Dame can get top recruit after top recruit.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it?
But the guys that they have to play against are the Joe Schmo that's, scoring 1,400 on his ACT because that's what he has to get in. Florida, on the other hand, can take a kid that comes from JUCO that runs a 4.2, that for whatever reason, he's going to be on the third string, but he may,
be as good as the starter.
Yeah, as good as the starter. So he's going to push the starter every day in practice, and Notre Dame just doesn't have that, and I think if Louisville can gain that, that's how you really achieve success at the major college football level.
And being in the BCS conference as Louisville is now, I mean, that's definitely the opportunity is there. Moving right along, though, I know exactly what everybody here wants to hear about, and that is Kentucky and Louisville basketball. We got some new results in. The Vegas odds say Louisville is the 5th most likely team to win it all next year, with Kentucky being the 2nd most likely to win it all. That's good for the state.
Oh, definitely. But Louisville's odds are a whole lot better. Even if you're a Cats fan, Louisville coming in right now, you can go in Vegas. If you were to take them, put $100 down on Louisville, coming in at 12-1 odds. If Louisville wins a national title, that's what, $1,200 in your pocket?
Oh yeah,
right there.
If you want to put it that way.
Yeah,
There's multiple ways to look at this. I mean,
Tyler, you don't think they'll win it all, do you?
I don't. I think that's why they're at the 5th best team to win it.
And you
Not
think
even making the Final Four.
You think that sucks, huh?
I think it's awesome.
But But depends on how much faith all these Cats fans have in their Cats. I mean, it's still pretty decent. I mean, if you have good faith,
I like the fact that Kentucky's championship or disappointment, and Louisville's not quite that.
Yeah,
Louisville's expectations aren't quite as
Which championship?
NCAA or Kentucky wins an NCAA championship next season, or their season's a disappointment. Is that a safe statement?
Oh yeah,
I agree.
You're the Tyler here is the big time UK
resident
fan.
UK fan.
Yeah, I know we've had some gray area. I am officially neutral. I would love it to see, if Kentucky and Louisville were in the national title game every year, I would love that. But
No.
Tyler here is our big Kentucky guy. So you think you're pretty much on the same page though that it'd be.
I'm on that page.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a bust, right?
We made a Final Four this year. That was awesome. That was way past expectations. This upcoming year, with what we have coming in, what we have coming back with Jones, we got a senior leader in Miller. I do believe it's, it might be. I hate to say championship and bust, but I feel like we should be there.
Louisville, on the other hand, Final Four, and I'll be ecstatic.
That'd be.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good spot for Louisville if they made a Final Four. I mean, they're going to be a young team as well. They're losing Preston Knowles, who's a senior leader, got hurt against Morehead State.
Preston Knowles, he was the leader last year, but he was not a very highly touted.
They got
recruit.
Kyle Kirk coming back. A lot of people don't look, at Kyle Kirk as a big time player, but he's a leader. He knows he's
Greatest
an
dunk
intangibles
ever.
guy.
He won the greatest dunk ever award
That's very true.
Was it ever or just this year?
this year. let's just go ahead and say ever.
Go ahead and say ever. But yeah, I think it is a championship season or bust. I could also see a situation. I think Bill Simmons brings it up.
Love Bill Simmons.
It's the Patrick Ewing theory.
Love that.
Once the great players leave, that you get a championship after that season. The one that comes up obviously to mind is the 98 national championship by Tennessee.
No, that was us.
No, football.
Oh, okay.
I think it was 98 or 99. The year after Peyton Manning was drafted, T. Martin leads him to a national title. Who the hell thinks T. Martin would ever lead a team to the national title?
There's all sorts
with no Peyton.
After Peyton Manning. But I could see that with Kentucky. You get very far. I think you look at Jones. Jones and Davis really to me are the only guys, that I think could leave. I think that, if things,
really?
Yeah, if things fall into play,
Teague will go.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm
He's
just
not physically that developed.
Yeah, I'm just not sold on his athleticism, and I don't think he has the floor game of a Kyrie Irving. But point guards always are in demand, and Calipari, I think just the track record he has, yes, T could go and he'll be picked early.
Thinking of next year's class, I'm just running through teams, and I just don't see the point guard positions might not be super strong next year in the draft. I think it might be more of a dominant, small forward, power forward type of class, which T could sneak in that first round, and he's already got the money. He's not looking at number 1 pick.
Yeah, and I think if they win national title, then they're all gone. It would be a complete rebuilding depending on what Kentucky has coming in.
The best part of this, the incoming class, I think, is Wilcher. Out of all four of these guys, he's rated number 18, I believe, in Rivals, but he's the guy that's going to stick around. He's not going to go that your first year. He's not the the overly athletic guy like you were explaining. I feel like he's one of those guys that, like Miller, he's going to stick around and build your program, which people think Calipari cannot do. It's, the one and dones only. But Wilcher's one of those players that's going to, lead on, kind of like Lamb.
Oh, yeah, and even if these guys don't get to play this year, you're going to look at a situation to where, Poole and Hood are going to be there. They're going to be seniors. Or, Hood will be a senior, Poole will be a junior. You have a guy like Wilcher. And then the recruits you bring in, that's a top 25, type team, Oh,
yeah.
So,
guys, I hate to interrupt, but we do have to cut to a commercial break right here real quick. We'll be right back with you with more KentuckySports.co radio show.